Hey y'all, well it is officially Practicum internship applying season. Thank God we're all at this stage. I'm very thankful that this year, 2017, that I have achieved all of those things. I am on to the biggest part of all, the exam. So I have been studying like crazy. Started studying, of course, well into my internship last semester, and I feel very, very prepared. Partially because of my outstanding internship that I had in Missouri, partially because I worked hard during it, and mainly because I've worked for this day. So my exam day is March 22nd. I'm looking forward to it. But I thought I'd take a few moments and kind of give some advice on application do's and don'ts, and just a little bit of a pep talk, because this is a process in itself, and it is very easy to kind of fall into the rut and get discouraged. I've been there, done that kind of thing. So I wanted to make sure that I reached back out to those who are following me on YouTube and who are following me on my blog, and kind of let people know just kind of what supervisors are looking for, and just some encouragement for the journey, because this is your journey and nobody else is really going through exactly what you're going through. But I just wanted to make sure that you knew that you're doing the right thing. So for your applications, the most people have contacted me through email and said, can you help me? Like, I don't really know why I'm not getting interviews or whatever. And the most common thing when I'm reviewing things and looking at what people have written is, a lot of the times, a lot of the potential candidates, both on Practicum, but mostly on Internship, because it's a little bit more structured through the Association of Child Life Professionals, with the Common Child Life application and like essay questions and stuff, particular for different hospitals, is a lot of spelling and grammar errors and mistakes. And that is so basic, and something you really don't even wish to see on an application. So if you're someone who struggles with writing or whatever it is, find a buddy and have that buddy read over your application. Please don't rely on Microsoft Word to spell check and spell proof, because it doesn't catch everything. And sometimes what makes sense to Microsoft Word does not make sense to someone who's reading it. So find a buddy for that. Utilize your university or your grad school. Your advisor should be your right-hand person on helping you with these apps. They're not going to do your work for you. And I'm not saying that at all. Simply saying somebody who can give you some academic advice, be there to help you out. I would even utilize, if your university has one, like a writing center where they have people to review resumes and cover letters and applications, stuff like that. I would definitely utilize that, because you have paid plenty of money to go to that school. You need to utilize all that they have. And stuff like that, as well as any kind of like career center to help with interview tips and just basic stuff like that. Another thing I've seen a lot of, unfortunately, is not answering the question, like kind of going around the question and kind of answering it whatever they felt like answering. So don't do that, please. Don't do those two things. Now, if you're like, oh, I've done all those two things, what else is wrong, or what am I not getting? Look at your resume. What does that look like? Is it 1 page? Is it 2 pages? Or is it 3 pages? If it's 3, try to make it 2. What does your experience look like? Do you have diverse experiences? Do you have, the basic everyone's going to have is hospital experience. Everyone who's even applying is going to have that. So did you stay in that same area for 3 years, or did you branch out into multiple different areas? Same with any outside well-child experience. Has it been diverse, or have you been in one place for years and years and years? So looking at that. Really anything that will make you stand out as being different. We love to hear different people and see different experiences. So look into your community, see what's going on. You don't have to do crazy things to get a crazy amount of experiences. I would just look in your hometown or your city, wherever you live, and see what you can do differently, or what's really abstract, or what's kind of different. Maybe it's volunteering with a special needs organization, or maybe it's volunteering at your city's children's museum, or maybe it's volunteering with military families and children. All kinds of really different things that you can gain experiences with children in, and then apply that in your interview questions and all that good stuff. So usually experiences plays into a part of it as well. And then going to your essay questions, and that goes back to the grammar and the spelling, and just making sure it makes sense and is cohesive. I've seen some cover letters that are extremely scary, couldn't even get through them. So make sure that not only are you reading it, having someone proofread it for you, that you're also reading through it. Does it make sense with someone else who doesn't know me? Would it make sense to them? Also, make sure that you are, I was telling this one girl your cover letter is the first hint of you that they are experiencing. If the first hint of you is not, wow, I really want to meet this person in an interview, or I really want to talk to them in an interview, it's not going to go anywhere for you. So make sure that you're putting your best foot forward, and you're creating a positive image of yourself and everything that you have achieved. Because once you send in that application, you can't undo anything that you've done. And while you might want to just delve into everything you've ever done, please don't do that on your cover letter. They want to hear it from you in person. As much as they have to go through it in your packet and in everyone's packet, they don't need a ton of information on your cover letter. They want to see it and hear it from you. So something to think about. Another thing I highly recommend is creating a list. I have a list on here of possible interview questions. There's a few basic ones, like how did you become interested in child life? What makes you an ideal intern or practicum student? What do you struggle with when working with children? And then there's some more challenging ones, like explain a challenging time you had with a child and what did you do? What are psychosocial issues for each developmental level of hospitalized children? Issues cannot be repeated between age groups. What does the term professional boundaries mean to you? What are your future goals? What is therapeutic play? What do you hope to gain from the internship? And what are your expectations from your internship supervisor? So things that, and those are things either I've been asked or similar or whatever, but you need to be thinking out loud, practicing what you might say. They're going to ask you an array of questions. There's all kinds of questions they can possibly ask you, either as a practicum student in an interview or in an intern interview. There's all kinds of things. So practice out loud. What I used to do is I would practice saying stuff in the shower. It'd be like, I would ask the question and then I would answer it. And it was crazy, but you know what? It worked. I'm here to say it works. Another important thing to do is get some sort of nice big notepad. And Target has all their cute Easter stuff out now, and they have this adorable, big list pad that you can write things down on. This was $3. Here's another Target option, which is like a calendar week thing, Monday through the weekend. So I would put things on there like things I needed to accomplish or packages I need to send, whatever it was. I will say, if you're going to use the United States Post Office to send in your applications, I would highly recommend using Priority Mail. It runs about $5 per 8.5 by 11 envelope. The only reason I suggest that, other than certified mail, is it was the tracking number, and sometimes hospitals with certified mail kind of get stuff confused and it goes to the wrong spot. So I always use Priority. I think I spent about $150 on shipping because I applied to 33 hospitals or something like that for internship. But anyway, it's whatever you need to do it, go ahead and do. But I just recommend Priority. And make sure that you're sending a thank you note. This one says, seriously, thanks. I don't think I'd send that to a hospital, but some sort of thank you note cards that you have, a little bit more professional than that. But, even when they're offering you that initial phone interview and you complete the phone interview, write them a thank you note. That shows that you're committed to them. I will also say, don't be super vague when answering questions like, why did you choose to come to this hospital? As much as you might want to put on there, because I really need a child life internship so I can be a child life specialist, don't do that. Please don't do that. Research their hospital. Find out, put their name in on YouTube. What videos from their hospital YouTube channel come up? Did they build a new children's hospital? Are they adding on to their existing hospital? Like, what are they doing? What's interesting about that place? What do they do in their child life department? Do they have music therapy, pet therapy? Do they have donors that come in every month? Kind of what's going on over there. I would even get up, I wouldn't say it's bad to call them and ask questions if you don't know the answer to. If you're out there, you're trying to choose what hospital is best for you. So when you're asked, why did you choose that hospital? You could say things like, oh, well, because I've never experienced child life in the NICU, and that really interests me because I've never had a volunteer position in the NICU before, or I really appreciated that the child life program offered music therapy, and I studied music therapy in school and didn't finish my degree there, but, am familiar with it and wants to learn a little bit more about how it works under the child life umbrella, or something like, well, I've never worked or volunteered in a community hospital setting, and I would like to see how it's different than working in a medical center. Whatever it is, whatever is niche to that hospital, put that on there. They want to see that you took the time to learn about them. Okay. And I would say, if you have any more questions, feel free to email me. I'll put my email down below. I'll also put a link to my blog down below. I did blog throughout my internship in Missouri. My blog is called Journey to Joy. It's on WordPress. I'm also blogging about study habits for exam, and I'll be starting to blog a few more things about integrating child life into the classroom, because that's what I'm doing right now until I get a real job, all that good stuff. And I'm just going to end it with a little bit of a pep talk. There's a lot of waiting involved in this whole process, through practicum, through internship, and the waiting can get just kind of like never ending, it seems. And I had to take up some odd jobs during that time so I could make sure I was volunteering and doing what I needed to do. And then I had to earn some sort of cash to pay for all of these fees and everything like that. So I was working at Michael's Arts and Crafts in the replenishment department. So when all the new things appear at Michael's, That's where the truck personnel come in. That's where I come in with that job. And I would actually get products off the truck and put them on the shelves. I was using a box cutter, doing all that fancy stuff. So I was making 50 cents above minimum wage. And I really felt like I had a 4-year degree and I knew all these things, and this is what I was doing. And I kind of felt like, I just wasn't doing what I needed to do or whatever. Even though I was doing exactly what I needed to do, I was working and applying for practicums and applying for internships and, just doing what I needed to do so I could, be certified and all that good stuff. It just didn't feel like I was being sufficient enough, kind of thing. And I actually worked at Michael's while I was doing my practicum. So I did my practicum Monday through Wednesday, and then I worked at Michael's Thursday and Friday mornings. And that involved being at Michael's at 3 in the morning. That's when our truck came. So 3 a.m. Thursday morning, I was there. And I would say I learned a lot from working at Michael's. I worked there until I got started working in the school district where I live as a substitute teacher. And I'm making more money currently doing that. And it still allows for flexibility. So if I need to take a study day, I can take a study day. I'm taking off days in March so I can do my exam. It just allowed me a little bit more flexibility. And even when I'm a teacher and in the classroom doing whatever I'm doing, I also feel sometimes like I'm still not doing enough, or I'm there, but I'm not there. And I just kind of sometimes, unfortunately, other teachers sometimes make subs feel like they're just a warm body in the classroom and that we're just not worth whatever. It's so dumb, but it's true. So for all those child lifers who are in it to win it, down in the ruts and all that stuff, in the trenches, the trenches of child life, keep going. It's hard. The journey is long. It's taken me about 2 years to get where I am, and it's just a matter of applying and being rejected and applying and being rejected and whatever. The cycle keeps going. But there's going to be somebody someday that wants you for real. And I have this thing with a bunch of Bible verses on it, and these are those Magnolia Market prayer cards. In Christ alone, my hope is found. And so I just keep quotes everywhere. I have a quote wall up here, and you just need, it's a process. It's a journey, and it's hard, and I get it. And I get being broke and not having a lot going on. But make sure you're taking some time for yourself through all of this, whether it's a warm bubble bath or going to Lush and getting a nice bath bomb or whatever it is, taking a walk with your dog or meeting some friends for coffee or whatever it is. I would say that's really important, to have a life while doing this. And a lot of people like me are working and studying and preparing and all that great stuff. And there's really nothing else you can do except for what you're doing. But of course, if you're still looking for that practicum or you're still looking for that internship, keep looking. There's definitely something out there for you if this is really what you want to do. And I would say really do some soul searching. If you've kept applying and applying and applying and applying and it's been like nothing, I would really make sure that you are doing everything that you can possibly do. And if there's anything better that you can do. So that's all I have to say tonight. But I really hope that this is the year for you. I really feel like 2017 is my year. It's been really nice so far, so I'm hoping it stays like that. We never know. But if you have any more questions, feel free to send me an email, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Have a good night.